sa kanyang pangalan, siya ay nasa kanilang kalagitnaan. Kami po ay naninikluhod at lumalapit sa iyong trono ng biyaya, hinihingi ng kapatawaran ang anumang kasalanan sa isip, sa salita o sa gawa, kasalanang sinasadya man o hindi. Patawarin niyo po kami, linisin niyo po kami ng iyong banal na dugo na nabuho sa krus ng Kalbaryo at hayaan mong makalapit po kami ngayong araw na ito sa iyong kabanalan. Ipaalala mo po sa amin ang sinabi mo sa aklat ng Salmo, Kapitulo 89, talatang 14. Ang katuwiran at katarungan ang saligan ng iyong luklukan. Ang tapat na pag-ibig at katotohanan ay nauuna sa iyong harapan. Panginoong Diyos, ngayon pong ika-17 araw ng impeachment trial, gabayan niyo po at tulungan ang bawat isa sa amin, lalo na ang aming buong Senado na tumatayo bilang hurado. Tulungan mo po kaming
2022.
Until December 31, tama po ba? Now, by the way, nasabi mo na you put yung 125 million pesos sa 4 na traveling bags. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
And then, saan galing itong mga traveling bags na ito?
Yung naimungkahi ko po yun kay Ma'am BP Sara at saka kay Asik Ortonio. And then, naisabi ko din yun kay Colonel La Chica.
Okay. Naimungkahin nyo kay BP Sara yung 4 na traveling bags. Yung tanong, ano ba yung naging tugon ng Vice President pagkatapos mong imungkahi sa kanya yung 4 na traveling bags na ito?
Nagsabi lang po siya na okay.
Okay.
Tapos, yung kay Sir La Chica po,
Kay Ma'am Sara lang po. Kay VP Sara lang muna, ha? Yun lang yung tanong. Now, Ma'am, hindi po ba na nung araw na iyon, nagpunta kayo sa bangko, dala-dala na yung 4 na traveling bags? Tama po ba?
yes, Your Honor.
4 lang yung dinala nyo, di ba?
Opo.
Now, ito yung tanong now. Kasyang-kasya yung 125 million pesos into 4 traveling bags. Yung tanong is ganito. Paano nyo po nalaman na saktong-sakto Sa 4 na traveling bags, yung 125 million pesos, paano yun nalaman?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is misleading. The witness has not testified as to the nasaktong-sakto yung bags.
But Your Honor,
Overruled. Witness testified that it fit and she brought 4 traveling bags and that they brought out the 4 traveling bags from the bank with the assistance of the security guards of the bank. Witness may answer. Pakisagot po, Ma'am Gina. Paano nyo nalaman na 4 na bag ang kailangan nyo dalhin para sa 125 million?
Ano po? Tansya ko lang po.
Estimate lang.
Opo, estimate.
Hindi pa po nyo yun nagawa sa talambuhay ninyo.
Wala po, sir. Dili pa po. Wala.
Please proceed, Counsel.
okay, now, hindi po ba, this is a probing question, Your Honor, hindi po ba na saktong-sakto yung 4 na bags dinala nyo? Kasi po, na-experience nyo na yung pag-i-encash ng around the same amount, 500 million pesos, yung panahon na kayo ay SDO ng Davao City. Tama po ba?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered, Your
Your Honor,
Honor.
this is a probing question.
Asked and answered, Counsel, she said hindi pa. Try to elicit a contrary answer from her
We will,
another
Your
way.
Honor. We will, Your Honor. Now, Madam Witness, hindi po ba na para sa taong 2019, okay, 2019, ma'am ha, yung Davao City, under sa pamumuno ng Mayor at the time, Sara Duterte, in 2019, ma'am, binigyan din ng 460 million pesos in confidential funds yung Davao City. Now, before you answer that, I'm showing you an infographic, okay, of the yearly confidential funds allocated to Davao City from 2016 to 2022. Now, ito yung tanong now. Hindi po ba in 2019, yung allocated na confidential funds para sa Davao City is 460 million pesos. Naaalala niyo po ba yan?
Hindi ko maalala, Your Honor.
For 2020, 460 million pesos din yung na-allocate to Davao City as confidential funds. Naaalala niyo po ba yan?
Hindi ko maalala, Your Honor.
Okay.
Kasi hindi po ganyan ang aking na-withdraw as SDO po sa Davao City.
Alright. Ma'am, so yung tanong, hindi yung how much yung na-withdraw nyo. Yung tanong is, how much yung na-allocate.
Hindi ko maalala, Your
Alright,
Honor.
sige. For 2021, hindi mo rin maalala na yung na-allocate na amount as confidential funds sa Davao City is 460 million pesos. Hindi mo rin maalala yan, ma'am?
Hindi ko na maalala, Your Honor. Dugay na, tagal naman kasi yun, Your Honor.
Alright.
Tapos may edad na po ako, Your Honor.
Anyways, okay, that is your answer. For 2022, so ma'am, sinasabi nyo, okay, what about for 2022? Before you transfer to the OVP, okay, yung Davao City nabigyan din ng 460 million pesos in confidential funds, 2022. Hindi nyo rin maalala yan.
Hindi ko maalala,
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, kung ilan, mao ba na o yan ba ang confidential fund, Your Honor?
Is it because, sabi mo, sa edad nyo, hindi nyo na maalala, ma'am? Di po ba?
Contributor po ang edad ko, Your Honor. At saka, dugay na po na, Your Honor.
Okay, now.
Matagal na, Your Honor.
By Dugay, the witness said matagal na. 2022. 2022. 4 na taon pa lang yung
Are you-
nakalipas. No, I'm not yet done. I'm not yet done.
Kindly let the counsel finish.
This is a probing question. And you are telling this public, ma'am, hindi nyo na maalala yung amount na binigay sa OVP na nangyari lang 4 na taon pa lang.
Objection, Your Honor.
That's a probing
Asked and
question.
answered and argumentative, Your Honor.
He's trying to impeach, I believe, the witness
Yes.
with respect to the earlier answer that she gave, which she can do, counsel, given that she has been declared by the court as a hostile witness. Witness may answer. Objection overruled.
Hindi nyo maalala, ma'am, 2022?
Ano po yun, sir? I'm confused.
Confused.
Nalibog ko, I'm confused kung ang pangutanan ni mo sa Davao ba
Davao
o ang
City.
pagka-vice presidente
Davao
ni Ma'am
City po.
Sara.
Before po kayo na-transfer from Davao City to the OVP in 2022, yung budget for 2022, confidential funds, is 460 million pesos. You don't also remember that?
Dili ko kaya nomdom, sir.
You don't remember that. All in all, from 2019, 2022, a simple math will tell us 1,840,000 pesos. Almost 2 billion confidential funds sa Davao City binigay. Hindi nyo rin maalala yung total na yan. Tama po ba? Now, last hearing, August 17, 2026, nasabi nyo that you released 125 million pesos to Colonel Lachica kasi yun yung instruction sa iyo ng head of agency. Now, to refresh your memory, here is a short clip of that hearing before the Committee on Good Government. Play the video, please.
You were able to check if the items and the amounts provided in the object of expenditure total to 125 million. You checked that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tanong, Ms. Acosta, what gave you the confidence? Ano ang nagbigay sa inyo ng lakas ng loob na ibigay ang buong 125 million kay Colonel Lachica, considering that he is not the accountable officer? Because it is you who is the accountable officer.
May approval po kay Ma'am Inday Sara.
And without the approval of the Vice President, will you give that to Colonel Lachica?
Hindi po.
Do you know Colonel Lachica?
Yes po, kasi siya po ang aming ground commander
How
ng
long
VP.
have you known Colonel Lachica?
Yung na-employ po ako after 3 months, yung na-employ po ako sa OBP, ma'am.
How long have you known? Since 2022?
Yes po, ma'am.
Do you express my
And through the assistance of, 21.1 ng Joint Circular 2015-01, sinasabi dyan, under no circumstance funds it be used for liquidation of the previous cash advance or be transferred from one accountable officer to another. It's there. Tama po ba?
Sandali lang, sir.
Mm-mm.
Tanaw pa na ako ang page.
Opo.
Page.
Second sentence po ng 6.1.1. Ulitin ko. Under no circumstance shall confidential funds in particular be used or be transferred from one accountable, wala dyan, it refers to officer to another. Alam nyo itong provision na ito, tama po ba?
Alang po.
Alam nyo yan. Despite knowing that, you still binigay mo pa rin sa isang security officer yung pera despite knowing 6.1.1. Tama po ba?
Gidisburse po dako sa security officer, Your Honor.
This is the first time we're hearing that. Now, Let's go to 6.1.6 of the joint circular. Okay? 6.1.6. Nakasulat dyan, ma'am. Confirm. No transfer of funds, appropriation through cash advances, or any form of payment from one agency to another for purposes of confidential intelligence activities shall be allowed. So yung kanina, hindi po pwede yung pag-transfer from one accountable officer to another, worse, sa hindi accountable officer. And then you will confirm, based on 6.1.6, hindi rin po pwede yung pag-transfer ng confidential funds from one agency to another. Of course, alam nyo rin yung provision na iyan. Tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
And despite knowing that, pangalawang provision na bawal yung pag-transfer, binigay nyo pa rin kay Colonel Lachica yung confidential funds. Tama po ba?
I-disburse ko po kay Colonel Lachica, Your Honor.
Disburse now,
Release.
this time, the term you are using is disburse.
Disburse
That's
or
interesting.
release.
Now, Colonel Lachica is the ground commander of the Vice President Special Protection Group. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, and then etong sorry, BPSPG ay isang unit under ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba?
Siya po, unit po yon sa Office of the Vice President, Your Honor.
Oh.
Ang BP is PGI, Vice Presidential Security Protection Group of
Okay.
the Vice President, Your
Okay,
Honor.
now, hindi po ba the fact remains na si Colonel Lachica ay isang career officer pa rin ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba? Sundalo, si Colonel Lachica under the office of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba?
Member po siya, Your Honor. Official po siya, Your Honor.
And then the last hearing, hindi mo masagot-sagot yung napakasimpleng tanong kung empleyado ba or hindi. Si Colonel Lachica.
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
Wait, that's a basis. That's a probing question to what the
wit-
witness already answered. Just answered rather.
Witness may answer. Kindly answer the question, Ma'am Gina.
Wala na ko to nasagot, Your Honor, kay dili man ko nagtrabaho sa HR, Your Honor.
Anyways, okay, thank you. Now, Madam Witness, hindi po ba as the Special Disbursing Officer, SDO, kayo po ay you posted yung tinatawag na fidelity bond with the Bureau of Treasury. Tama po ba, Ms. Acosta?
Tama po, Your Honor.
At hindi rin po ba naalala nyo that you admitted na kailangan kayong mag-post ng bond dahil posibleng mawala nyo ang pagkalaki-laking pera. Tama po ba? To aid your memory, we will show you transcript of stenographic notes of that 2024 November 25 hearing before the Committee on Good Government of the House of Representatives. Show the TSN, please. Tanong, Ms. Acosta, hindi po ba kayo ay natakot magbitbit ng ganitong kalaking halaga na pera considering the possibility na baka ma-hold up kayo? Remember, you are covered by a fidelity bond, and one of the reasons is the possibility of losing this huge amount of money. Do you remember having answered that?
Opo, Your Honor.
You will agree na yung rason ba't kailangan mag-post ng fidelity bond yung isang accountable officer like you para maprotektahan yung pera ng bayan. Ibig sabihin, kung mawala yung pera, at least, may bond na po pwedeng makarecover yung bansa. Tanong, si Colonel Lachica ba nag-post ng fidelity bond or hindi mo rin maalala?
Ano, sir?
Okay, I will repeat the question. Sinabi natin yung rason ba't kailangan ng fidelity bond para maprotektahan yung pera pinaghirapan ng taong bayan. Tanong, si Colonel Lachica ba na pinagbigyan mo ng 125 million pesos plus 375 million pesos or a whopping total of 500 million pesos? Tanong ng bayan, Gina Acosta, si Colonel Lachica ba ay nakapag-post ng fidelity bond?
Objection, Your Honor.
Oh, what's the objection?
Misleading, Your Honor. I believe the witness has only testified as regards to 125 million.
Okay.
But there's no testimony yet as regards the amount mentioned by the counsel for the prosecution, Your Honor.
I will. Can I respond to that, Your Honor, please? I do
Kindly
remember,
respond, Attorney Ligutan. He has a point.
I do remember. Okay. I do remember this witness testifying. That's the same thing they did for the 3 quarters of 2023. I do remember that. It's
And
in
the question
record.
is quite simple. Tama ba yung tanong, Attorney Ligutan? Sa pagkakaalam niyo po, may bond po ba? May fidelity bond po ba? Si Colonel Lachica, tulad niyo, na SDO. Bonded po ba siya, ma'am?
Si security officer na si Colonel Lachica, na siya amo ang commanding officer sa BPSPG, dili po siya banded, Your Honor. Pero ang accountable pa rin, Your Honor, ako gihapon, Your Honor. I am still the accountable person, Your Honor. That's why po, Your Honor, ako po ang gumawa ng liquidation, Your Honor.
That is correct, ma'am.
All
You
right.
have said that.
Yeah.
Attorney
Okay,
Ligutan,
now-
your witness.
Now, hindi po ba, ma'am, na para sa 3 quarters ng 2023, this is, I'll break the question down. You also gave 125 million pesos para sa first quarter ng 2023 kay Colonel Lachica. Di po ba?
Nag-release po ako, Your Honor.
To Lachica.
Opo, Your Honor.
For the second quarter, 125 million pesos to Colonel Lachica din. Unbundled si Lachica. You gave 125 million pesos to Colonel Lachica. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor. Kay
Tama.
siya po ang amuang security officer nga gitalaga ni Vice President Sara Duterte para mag-implement anang mga confidential activities, Your Honor.
Alright.
Kay
now.
siya man ang naay
sir.
access, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And for the third quarter of 2023, another 125 million pesos in cold cash to Colonel Lachica. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Tama. So in total, kalahating bilyong piso na pera ng taong bayan binigay mo sa isang unbonded person.
As in answered, Your Honor.
The counsel is answering.
Witness may answer. Counsel is seeking emphasis and clarification.
Nirelease ko po kay Colonel Lachica, Your Honor, kasi siya po ang tinalaga ng Vice Presidente na siya po ang security officer, Your Honor. Siya po ang may alam, siya po ang eksperto, Your Honor, sa pagpatupad ng mga project o program regarding sa operation ng confidential activities, Your
I will ask
Honor.
this question, Your Honor. Hindi po ba, ma'am, na sa iba't ibang tanong ko, paulit-ulit na yung sagot nyo kasi nga siya yung may alam sa pag-implement ng confidential activities. Hindi nyo rin po ba napansin na sa mga iba't ibang question ko sa iba't ibang punto, parang iisa na lang po yung sagot nyo? Napansin nyo po ba? Hindi.
Karon, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yun lang ang sagot ko,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Okay. Now, let's go to this tree planting activity, ma'am. Sinabi nyo, pareho sa good governance program, yung socio-economic program, kino-cover din yung tinatawag ninyo na tree planting activities. Tama po ba?
Your Honor.
Ma'am, ganito po ma'am, no? Napakasimple ng tanong. Kung gusto nyo pong mag-explica ng sagot nyo, pwede po sa pamamaraan po ng abogado ng kabila. Napakasimple po ng tanong. Para sa socio-economic program, ng Office of the Vice President, isa sa mga activities na pinaggamitan ng confidential funds, sinasabi nyo, siguro pag-secure sa mga tree planting activities. Hindi po ba? Yes or no?
Ang tree planting po ay kasali po sa pinaggastusan ng confidential fund.
Mhm.
Before po gawin ang tree planting, ang aming security officer, Your Honor, mag-conduct po sila ng surveillance, Your Honor.
Yes,
Kung
ma'am.
safe ba.
Yes, ma'am. Tama po, tama po.
Kanang
Mm-mm.
action, Your Honor, part na sa
Okay.
confidential fund, Your
So
Honor.
sinasabi nyo, importante yung confidential funds para masigurado yung security ng Vice President. Tama po ba?
Na mo plant dito sa
Now, hindi po ba noong August 13, ilang araw pa lang, yung nakakaraan, 2026, yung Vice President nag-tree planting activity in Masibay Integrated School in Nunungan, Lanao del Norte, as can be shown in these news reports. Tanong, 2026. Ito yung tanong now. May confidential funds ba yung Office of the Vice President sa taong ito, 2026?
wala po, Your
Okay,
Honor.
wala. And despite that, despite the absence of confidential funds, nakapag-tree planting with God's blessing, nakapag-tree planting yung Vice President, nagligtas ng walang untoward incident. Tama po ba?
Irrelevant, Your Honor.
That's very much relevant, Your Honor. If I may, I can explain that.
It's part of the liquidation report of the confidential funds, Council. Why is it irrelevant?
This is for 2026, Your Honor. The question pertains to an activity in 2026, Your Honor, which is not covered by the articles of impeachment, Your Honor.
This is 2026, Council?
Yes, Your Honor. 2026, the point is, there was no confidential funds allocated and the Vice President was able to conduct one. Sinasabi ng, if I may, Your Honor.
I get your point, Council.
Yeah.
I think Council was able to explain Attorney Linden. Yes, witness may answer. Ang punto lamang naman, Attorney Ligutan, correct me if I'm wrong, is kasama sa confidential funds na pinang-liquidate nila, yung tree planting, di umano, libreng sakay, yung mga enumeration nila, bagaman hindi ito sa cloud ng taong sakop ng impeachment, gusto mo lang patunayan na nagawa pa rin to kahit walang confidential funds.
Crystal clear. Yes, sir.
Yes, witness will answer if she knows. If she knows, because she's the SDO for the confidential funds.
Hindi ko alam, Your Honor.
Hindi mo alam. Hindi mo alam. Now, going back. Yung nabigay mo yung 125 million pesos to Colonel La Chica, binigyan ka rin niya ng tinatawag niyong list of expenditures. Tama po ba? And then to aid your memory, ma'am, kasi nga sabi mo, hindi mo maalala yung mga nangyari 4 years ago, I'll show you. Transcript of stenographic notes. November 25, 2024. Or even before okay yan. Naalala niyo, ma'am, na binigyan din kayo ni Colonel La Chica yung tinatawag niyong list of objects of expenditures and request for funding. Hindi po ba?
list of object of expenditure po, Your Honor.
Yes. Ano ba itong mga objects of expenditures na ito?
Yun po ang mga proposed expenses po na ma-incurred po ni Security Officer, Your Honor.
Okay, now. And then si Colonel La Chica din, yung nag-determine ano yung mga objects of expenditures, hindi po ba? Siya,
Sa kanya po galing, Your Honor.
sa kanya galing. Now, ito yung tanong now. Ma'am, yung binigay mo yung 125 million pesos in cold cash to Colonel La Chica, did you ask him to sign an acknowledgement receipt or any voucher na magpapatunay na tinanggap niya galing sa'yo yung 125 million pesos?
Gipa-receive na ko siya, Your Honor.
Yung tanong is, did you ask him to sign an acknowledgement receipt? Yes or no?
Gipa-receive na ko siya, Your Honor.
Being evasive. The question is so simple.
Di ba kasama po sa liquidation report niya yung mga acknowledgement receipt na sinubmit? Iba't ibang pangalan, di po ba? Opo, di ba? Yung iba't ibang pangalan. So alam niyo po ang kahulugan na acknowledgement receipt. Ang tanong, may acknowledgement receipt bang pinirmahan si Colonel La Chica para sa binigay niyong 125 million?
Ang nalibog ko, I'm sorry, I'm confused.
No.
Paghatag na ko kay Colonel La Chica
Pagbigay niyo kay Colonel La Chica,
ng 125M, gipa-receive na ko siya, Your Honor. Did sa objects of expenditure nga gihatag niya sa ko, dito na nako siya gipa-receive, Your Honor.
Ma'am, naniniwala akong kaya niyong gamitin ang wikang Pilipino rito. Nung binigay niyo yung 125 million sa kanya, pina-receive niyo sa kanya, ibig sabihin may pinirmahan siyang papel na tinanggap niya yung 125 million mula sa inyo.
Opo, Your Honor.
Okay.
Aba,
Tanong,
continue, Counsel.
ano yung dokumentong iyan kung saan makikita natin, ma'am, na sinasabi ni Colonel La Chica, pinirmahan niya, na tinanggap niya yung 125 million pesos galing sa'yo?
Internal document namin, Your Honor. Doon po sa object of expenditures.
Okay, ma'am.
Dito na ko siya, doon ko siya pina-receive, Your Honor.
Okay, now, ano yung nakasulat sa object of expenditure na yan na magpapatunay sa sinasabi mo ngayon na tinanggap ni Colonel La Chica yung 125 million pesos galing sa'yo?
Gitatakan ako og receive, Your Honor. Tapos sa receive, sa below sa receive nga word, below the receive na word, doon siya nag-sign, Your Honor.
Nang, anong sinay niya?
Gipirmahan niya. Ang
Yun.
pirma niya, Your Honor.
Madam Witness, so yung sinasabi mo now, tinatanong ka, ano yung pruweba mo na natanggap ni Colonel La Chica yung 125 million pesos galing sa'yo? Yung sinasabi mo now, and it's plain to see, tinatakan mo yung object of expenditure. Tama po ba?
Opo.
And then sa ibabaw niyan, pinirmahan ni Colonel La Chica. Tama po ba?
Opo.
Tanong, walang nakasulat na 125 million pesos yung natanggap ni Colonel La Chica galing sa'yo sa araw na yan.
Naa, Your Honor.
Sa list of expenditures.
Naa, Your Honor.
Okay, anyways.
Meron po, Your Honor. Kasi ang nakalagay po sa object of expenditures, ito po yung purchase of information, amount, then purchase of reward, amount, then ano pa yung mga expenses, then total 125M.
Yes.
So, doon ko siya pina-receive, Your Honor.
Ma'am.
Pero yung dokumento yun, Your Honor, is internal po namin, Your
Anyways,
Honor.
I will probe deeper. Sa list of expenditure na kasulat doon, ito yung paggagamitan, tsaka ito yung nakalaan na pera. Tama po ba?
Meron ganyan.
Yun lang. Yun lang. Ano yung paggagamitan, tsaka ano yung nakalaan na pera? Yun lang. Tama po ba?
Meron pa siyang sentence, paragraph, Your Honor, sa ibabaw.
Na ano?
Di ko ma-memorize
Hindi mo
na,
may memorize.
di ko maalala. Basta,
Alala.
ang gibutan niya nga, I try ko magtagalog. BP Sara through Gina F. Acosta SDO. In line with the blah, 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 the following are the proposed expenses for the implementation of confidential activities for calendar year for the fourth quarter 2022. Then yun na.
Yes, ma'am.
Particulars, purchase of information with corresponding amount, blah, blah, blah. Tapos na total 125
Okay.
amount.
Yes, ma'am.
Tapos submitted by La
Mhm.
Chica.
Okay.
So, dito sa baba, dito ko na siya pinareceive na nireceive niya yung 125.
Okay now.
Yun.
Kaya nga, yun yung tanong, ma'am. Napakasimple ng tanong, ma'am eh. Paulit-ulit sabi mo, list of expenditures, nakasulat doon. Ito yung paggagamitan, ito yung nakalaan, 125 billion pesos, saka firma lang ni Colonel La Chica, saka tinatakan mo receipt. Ma'am, you are under oath. Pero sa dokumentong iyan, ma'am, walang naka-indicate doon sa isang napakasimpleng phrase. Tinanggap ko galing kay Gina F. Acosta yung perang 125 million pesos sa araw na iyan na makikita natin, alam ng taong bayan, makikita natin yan sa kahit anong simpleng transaksyon na kung saan may palitan ng kamay sa pera. Wala yan.
Gireceive
Yes,
niya yun.
Objection,
I'm
Your Honor.
proving, I'm
Ask and
proving.
answered, Your Honor.
While indeed it was asked and answered, counsel, I think counsel is seeking clarification on this point. It affords the witness an opportunity to clarify her answer too, because she seems to be unsure. So I'll allow it for now, counsel. With your indulgence, Ma'am Gina, pakisagot po yung katanungan ni Attorney Ligutan.
You want me to repeat the question?
Gipa-receive ko siya, Your Honor.
Ayun, exactly. Paulit-ulit po. I think alam po natin.
Pina-receive po at internal yung papel na nagsasabing ni-receive. Hawak niyo po ba yun ngayon? May kopya po ba kayong dala ngayon?
After po nakagawa na po ako ng liquidation, Your Honor, kinuha po ulit ni Security Officer La Chica, Your Honor.
Yung receipt, yung resibo na tinanggap niya yung pera, kinuha niya uli.
Kinuha niya ulit, Your Honor, kasi nakaliquidate naman po ako, Your Honor. Ang base po ng aking liquidation, Your Honor, is yung mga document po na binigay sa akin ni Security Officer after po, matapos po niya ma-implement on the grounds ang mga confidential activities po, Your Honor.
Sorry po, Ma'am Gina, with the permission of counsels, with the indulgence of Attorney Ligutan as well. Nung binigay niya yung 125 million kay Colonel Lachica, may pinirmahan siyang resibo na tinanggap niya yung 125 million. Pribadong dokumento, internal document na opisina niyo. Tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Nung nakapagbigay siya ng liquidation kung saan at paano niya ginastos yung binigay niyang 125 million, binawi na po niya yung pinirmahan niyang resibo na tinanggap niya yung 125 kasi na-liquidate na po niya.
Nagbigay po siya sa akin, after po Your Honor, nagbigay siya sa akin ng reports na tinatawag po namin na Fund Utilization Report.
Yeah. Pagbigay po niya nun, binawi niya na yung pinirmahan niyang resibo na tinanggap niya yung 125.
Wala pa, Your Honor.
Wala pa.
Kasi aking gitali po, Your Honor, na tama po ba ang kinuha niya na 125, ang binigay, ang nirelease ko sa kanya na 125, tama po ba sa kanyang binigay sa akin na Fund Utilization Report?
Okay, eksakto. Tumama.
Eksakto. So, nakagawa na ako ng accomplishment report based sa Fund Utilization Report na binigay sa akin ni CSO Officer.
Binigay niyo na
Colonel
ba,
Lachica.
sinoli niyo na ba yung resibo sa kanya pagkatapos nun?
After po na tapos ko na aking liquidation, na isubmit po na po sa kuwa. Sa kuwa.
Doon yun na po sinole yung...
Kinuha na po niya, Your Honor, kasi nakaliquidate naman po kami, Your
So wala
Honor.
na po sa kamay niyo, nasa kamay na po niya.
Wala na po sa akin, Your Honor.
At ganyan din po ang ginawa niyo sa taong 2023, doon sa tatlong 125. Pagkatapos niya, binigay niya yung pera, pinirmahan niya yung resibong tinanggap niya. Pagkatapos niya magbigay ng fund liquidation report at na-liquidate niyo at na-submit niyo na sa COA, kinuha na rin niya yung resibo. At wala po kayong kopya.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I will. Now,
Colonel Igutan, your witness.
hindi po ba at this particular moment, you cannot show any document at this moment, ma'am. I'm narrowing the question, Your Honors. At this moment, wala kayong maipakitang dokumento o anuman na magpapatunay na tinanggap, inacknowledge ni Colonel Chica yung pagtanggap niya ng 125 million pesos galing sa iyo sa araw na yan, December 20, 2022. Wala. Yes or no?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered, Your Honor.
I'm asking for now.
Actually, asked and answered already.
Yes.
I will have to sustain the objection
Yes,
already,
Honor.
counsel. That is already just for emphasis, and I think the witness has answered it already.
I will continue, Your Honor. Same po sa 3 quarters ng 2023, binibigay mo yung pera sa isang non-accountable officer na hindi bonded. Tsaka hindi ka makakapagpakita, 2023 this time, ng kahit anong dokumento ngayon na magpapatunay na tinanggap nga ni Colonel Chica yung 375 million pesos in cold cash, pera ng bayan.
Objection, Your Honor.
2023.
Misleading and asked and answered, Your Honor. It's
2023, Your Honor.
It's misleading, Your Honor, because the witness did not make any testimony as regarding the claim that the security officer is not accountable, Your Honor. And it's already asked and answered, Your Honor.
Counsel, I will have to sustain the objection, but on the ground that it is compounded, and if at all it is misleading, because the 375 million was not given one time to Colonel Chica. You
I will
totaled
break it down, Your Honor, please.
You totaled it for her.
Okay.
Kindly modify.
I will break it down. Para naman sa first quarter ng 2023, binigay mo rin 125 billion pesos in cold cash to Colonel Chica. Tama po ba?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
I'm breaking it down. Yes or no?
Witness may answer.
Girelease ko po kay security officer kasi siya po ang itinalaga ng aming Vice President, Your Honor, at siya ang nakakaalam paano i-implement ang mga confidential activities, Your Honor.
There you go again. Now, for the first quarter ng 2023, wala ka ring maipakitang any acknowledgement receipt, any document ngayon na magpapatunay na tinanggap ni Colonel Chica yung 125 million pesos cash galing sa iyo for the first quarter of 2023. Tama po ba?
Objection, Your
Nagpa-receive
Honor.
po
Asked
ako,
and
Your
answered,
Honor.
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, this is 2023. I'm breaking it down.
Counsel, let the witness answer.
Nagpa-receive po ako, Your Honor.
Ma'am, tanong. May dokumento kayo now na ipapakita in an impeachment trial sa harap ng ating mga senator judges, sa harap ng taong bayan na tinanggap nga ni Colonel Chica yung 125 million pesos galing sa iyo.
Your Honor, Your Honor,
That's a very clear-
I would have to register a continuing objection to this line of questioning.
Napakasimpleng tanong po, Your Honor.
Considering that it's already asked and answered. Your Honor.
Ngayon,
Counsel, you're on a short leash. I think the witness answered already from the questioning of the presiding officer himself. Although I know and understand it's for emphasis, but only it can only go so far.
yes.
The witness has already answered. So, ma'am, wala po kayong dokumentong hawak dahil nga binawi ni Colonel Chica. Tama po.
Binawi po niya, Your Honor, pero nakagawa na po ako ng liquidation, Your Honor. Nakasubmit na po kami sa COA, Your Honor. Every time po, meron kaming confidential, Your Honor.
Opo, ma'am.
Nakaliquidate po kami, Your Honor.
Opo, naunawaan ko po
Alright.
yan. Pero klaro lang po na binawi nga po niya, kaya wala po kayong kopya.
Yes, Your Honor.
At yan po yung
Pagkatapos-
kinagawian na nyo noong 2022 last quarter, first, second, at third quarter ng 2023.
Yes, Your Honor.
Apa, tama. Okay. Kaya wala po kayong hawak na kahit anong dokumento ngayon dahil na kay Colonel Lachica na at binawi po niya.
Ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ma'am, ito yung tanong now. Ito yung tanong now, ma'am. Hindi po ba kakaiba? Unusual. Na yung acknowledgement receipt, babawiin ng taong pinagbigyan mo ng pera. You don't find it unusual?
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
Sustained. Sustained. Kindly
Yes, Honor.
reform counsel.
In Davao City, prior to 2022, hindi po ba, ma'am, same pa rin yung procedure na ginagawa nyo? Binibigay mo yung confidential funds sa isang security officer, and then sabi mo, may acknowledgement receipt, pero binabawi ng pinagbigyan mo yung acknowledgement receipt, kaya hindi mo hawak. Tama po ba sa Davao City? Practice nyo doon.
I will have to recall, Your Honor, kay matagal na po
Yes,
kasi
okay.
yun.
Ma'am, hindi po ba ito yung nagiging method of procedure? May Latin term po tayo dyan, ma'am, ha?
May,
Method of procedure, ito yung modus operandi nyo, ibibigay yung pera sa isang security officer, hindi banded, tsaka babawiin, sinasabi mo, ng pinagbigyan ng pera ang acknowledgement receipt. Modus operandi in English, in simple English, it means method of procedure, nakagawian, practice, modus. Tama po ba?
Objection, Your Honor. It's misleading because there's no the witness testified that she does not remember.
No? Counsel, we both know modus has a secondary and double meaning. We can always use, is this the standard operating procedure that you followed when you were SDO in both Davao and under the OVP? Ito,
Yes.
ito po ba yung kinagawian ninyong practice at proseso nung kayo po ay SDO ng Davao, kaugnay ng confidential fund, at nung kayo ay SDO ng OVP, na yung pagbibigyan nyo, security officer o sino man, hindi banded, pipirma na acknowledgement receipt, at pag nagbigay na siya ng fund liquidation report, fund utilization report, at nakaliquidate na kayo sa COA, babawi na.
Opo, Your Honor.
Opo. Now, let me proceed. Cash disbursement record. You are aware ano yung konsepto ng cash disbursement record or CDR. Let's go to paragraphs 7.1, 7.2. Your Honor, I endeavor to finish this before 12. I promise, Your Honor. 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. Of course, as an SDO, alam mo ano yung konsepto ng cash disbursement record. Alam mo yung konseptong iyan. Di po ba?
Sandali.
Attorney J, please assist. That is 7.1, 7.2, 7.3.
Assisting counsels of both parties may approach.
Meron na akong kopya, Your Honor.
Okay, now. What was the address? Sorry, ha? Okay, now. You were supposed to record each invoice, receipt, or voucher individually. Sa isang araw, kailangan nakatala. Sa CDR, okay, lahat ng perang lalabas sa opisina mo as SDO. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Meron po akong CDR.
Okay, let's go into that. Sinabi mo may CDR ka. Ito yung tanong now. In that CDR, makikita ba dyan na binigay mo yung 125 million pesos kay Colonel La Chica on December 20, 2022?
Yes po, nakalagay po doon, Your Honor, release to security officer,
Okay.
Sir La Chica,
Can we have that?
125.
Do you have a copy?
Hindi ko dinala, Your
Hindi mo
Honor.
dinala. Okay. Good. Now, ma'am, hindi po ba? Ma'am, sinabi mo na yung mga acknowledgement receipt na sabi mo, through the questions of the good presiding officer, pinirmahan, allegedly, ni Colonel La Chica, binawi niya, di po ba? Ma'am, yung tanong, what about yung mga acknowledgement receipts ng mga thousands of recipients? Like Mary Grace Piatos, Andy Lim. Binawi ba nila yung acknowledgement receipt? Yes or no?
I need to clarify the
Oh,
question,
I will
Your
repeat the
Honor.
question. Sinabi mo, yung pruweba na binigay at tinanggap ni Colonel La Chica yung 125 million pesos. Sinabi mo, yes, pumirma siya. Pero binawi niya pagkatapos ng liquidation report. Ito yung tanong now. What about yung mga acknowledgement receipts? Mary Grace Piatos and Lim. Binawi ba nila yung acknowledgement receipts or you retained yung mga acknowledgement receipts na yun? You retained, tama po ba?
Yung mga acknowledgement na yun, Your Honor, galing po yun kay
Colonel
ISO
La Chica.
officer. Oh. Tapos, Your Honor, yan po ay hiningi po ng COA. Kaya nasubmit na po lahat ang mga acknowledgement, Your Honor, na galing yung mga tao na naka-receive o yung pinaggastusan po ni Colonel La Chica doon sa ground po, Your Honor, habang gi-implement po ang confidential operation or activities, Your
Para
Honor.
ma-submit nyo sa COA. Yun yung sabi nyo, di ba?
Kailangan po yun, Your
Yun,
Honor.
ma'am. Kaya, Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, I will ask this question again. Yung binawi ni Colonel La Chica, yung acknowledgement receipt, hindi nyo po ba naisip na, teka muna, Colonel La Chica, oh, wait, I'm not done, counsel. Teka muna, kailangan ko i-submit sa COA. So, of course, I will not give this to you, Colonel La Chica. Kasi nga, ano yung pruweba ko na tinanggap mo yung pera galing sa akin? Hindi mo ba naisip yan, Gina Acosta?
Objection,
Yo-
Your Honor. Argumentative, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is premised on her answer a while ago that she said because they had to submit that to COA, the acknowledgement. That's why I'm asking this question again.
Argumentative misleading, Your
I-
Honor.
I think you've established your point,
Yes,
counsel,
Your Honor.
both
I
to
will
the
move
senator, judges, and to the public. It is argumentative.
I will
move
move
on
on.
to your next point, counsel.
Much obliged. Hindi po ba obligasyon mo bilang SDO na busisihin yung mga acknowledgement receipts na sinasabi nyo na magpapatunay na tinanggap ng mga recipients yung pera ng taong bayan. Trabaho mo as SDO na busisihin yung mga acknowledgement receipts, hindi po ba?
Trabaho ko po, Your Honor, pero sa dami-dami po ng acknowledgement receipt, hindi ko po maalala lahat, Your
Yun.
Honor, yung mga ibang detalles kagaya ng mga names, Your Honor. Kasi
And I will help you remember, ma'am. Don't worry. Now, I'm showing you now an itemized confidential expenditures as stated sa accomplishment report nyo for the period December 21 to 31, 2022. Okay, show. Para po matulungan natin si Gina Acosta maalala yung nangyari in 2022, 4 na taon nakalipas. Show this on screen, please. Surveillance and monitoring. That one. The total amount, okay, while it's being shown, the process being shown, you will confirm that for an 11-day duration, December 21 to 31, 2022, yung Office of the Vice President nagbayad ng kabuuhang 16 million pesos. Nakasulat sa accomplishment report ninyo, rental of other incidental expenses relative to the maintenance of safe houses. 16 million pesos rental from December 21 to 31. 11 days. Confirm, Madam Acosta. Now this time, naaalala nyo na po ba? Andyan po, oh. Rental of other incidental expenses, letter C, 16 million pesos.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ang binigay po sa akin na utilization po, hindi po kagaya doon, Your Honor.
Okay, sige. Anyways, you look at the document. Accomplishment report. You show it. It's there.
Kasi po, ang sa screen po, nakalagay po, Your Honor, is 132. At ang ditong
Wala ma'am, wala.
po, Your
Ma'am,
Honor, is
klaro po ma'am,
127.
klaro po ma'am. Oh, December 21 to 31.
Sir,
And then rental, ayan, 16 million pesos. Oh. Yes ma'am, yes ma'am. We'll show it to you.
oh.
Yes,
For the record, witness
noted.
gave the thumbs up sign, which means
Okay.
yes in the affirmative. Tama, ma'am?
16
Opo.
million. Sorry po, Your Honor.
Same na po ang aking kopya
Mm-mm.
sa screen po, Your Honor.
Okay.
16 million pesos from December 21 to 31, 2022, 11 days. Tanong, hindi niyo po ba masasabi ito ay unconscionable, kasuklam-suklam, or extravagant, or labis-labis?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Wait. Not yet done. Nasa circular, trabaho ng
Attorney
COA
Ligodan
tingnan
finish.
kung unconscionable ba or extravagant yung expenses. That's why I'm asking this witness now.
The witness is not from COA, Your Honor.
I'm not. The witness.
Is that, are you done, Attorney Ligodan?
Not yet, Your Honor. In fact, I'm not yet done with the question, Your Honor. Hindi po ba kasuklam-suklam, labis-labis in English, unconscionable and extravagant, as mentioned in the circular, for the Office of the Vice President to spend 16 million pesos in 11 days or a total of 1.4 million pesos? Hindi nga per month per day.
Now, counsel, Attorney Linden, what
Same
is your
objection,
objection?
Your Honor, with the addition that it's also compound, Your Honor.
What was the first objection, counsel?
It's argumentative, Your Honor.
I will have to overrule it, counsel. Kindly answer the question, ma'am. Just with one variation, unconscionable is not kasuklam-suklam. Mahirap tanggapin, mahirap makonsensya, pero hindi naman kasuklam-suklam ang unconscionable, counsel. With that clarification, witness may answer? Hindi ba nyo nakita?
Sorry po, Your Honor, Hana. I was
Hindi ba kayo nahirapang tanggapin na ganong kalaki yung gastusin para sa December 21 to 31 lamang na pagrenta ng mga safe house? Hindi po ba para sa inyo? Katanggap-tanggap po ba yon o hindi?
Ako po, Your Honor, nag-rely po ako sa mga dokumento na binigay sa akin ng security officer, Your Honor. Kasi siya po ang nag-implement doon sa ground, Your Honor. Wala po ako doon, Your Honor. Kasi
So-
wala po akong access sa mga security, Your Honor.
So,
Kaya nag-rely po ako sa security officer namin na Sir La Chica, Your
So
Honor.
pag nagsabing nag-rely, inasahan nyo lamang po yung binigay sa inyong fund utilization, kaugnay at kabilang na yung renta na ganyan ang amount. Apo? Umasa
Your
lang kayo
Honor.
sa binigay sa inyong report na 16 million yung renta ng iba't ibang safe house sa loob ng 21 to 31 December.
Yes, Your Honor. Nag-rely po ako sa aming security officer, Your Honor. Kasi siya po ang nag-implement, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let me proceed.
Proceed, counsel.
Let's take a look at the same list from the accomplishment report. for the period December 21 to 31, the amount for the purchase of supplies, provision of medical food aid. Okay? If we sum that up, it totals a whopping 75 million pesos para sa supplies, provision of medical and food aid. 75 million pesos. Tanong, ikaw ba ay in possession ng isang single official receipt na magpapatunay na talagang ginamit yung 75 million pesos para sa pagbili ng supplies, medical, and food aid? Do you have a single ni isang official receipt? Yes or no?
Your Honor, nag-rely po ako kung anong mga dokumento ang binigay sa akin ng security officer, Your Honor.
There you go again. The question is so simple. Do you or do you not have a single official receipt to prove na ginamit yung 75 million pesos na pera ng taong bayan sa pagbili ng supplies, medical, and food aid?
As an answer, Your Honor.
Ma'am Gina, yung binigay sa inyong dokumento ng security officer para i-liquidate itong pinambili ng medical at saka food supplies, may kabilang po bang resibo doon o wala? Official receipt o wala po?
Acknowledgement receipt lang po, Your Honor. Kasi po sa...
So wala pong official receipt. Yun lang po yung tanong ni Atty. Ligutan. So wala pong binigay na official receipt yung security officer sa inyo kaugnay sa kabuuang halagang ito ng 75 million sa purchase of supplies, medical, and food aid.
Acknowledgement receipt po, Your Honor.
Alright.
So wala pong OR. Alam nyo naman po ma'am ibig sabihin ng OR, di ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
So wala pong official receipt.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Okay. Atty. Ligutan.
So, ito yung tanong now. Ba't hindi kayo naghanap? Galing kay Colonel La Chica. Hindi nyo ba naisip, ma'am, Colonel La Chica, kahit ba yung pagbili ng gamot, yung pagbili, is this an advertisement, Biogesic, paracetamol, ba't hindi tayo mag-produce ng official receipt? Ano po yung napaka-confidential kung saan binili Biogesic, paracetamol? Ano yung confidential? Hindi mo ba naisip tanungin kay Colonel La Chica yan?
Objection, Your Honor. Compound and argumentative, Your Honor.
I'll allow it for now, Counsel. Kindly answer, Ms. Gina. Hindi niyo ba naisip humingi ng OR?
Your Honor, as I browse or as I verify po ng mga acknowledgement receipt na binigay sa akin ni SO Officer Colonel La Chica, naitanong ko po siya kasi may napansin po ako na ang iba walang date, walang name, may perma. Ang sagot naman sa akin ni ISO officer, Ma'am Gina, kung ano man ang binigay ko sa iyo na mga dokumento, yun na yun. Kasi ang mga transaction or ang operation door is very sensitive information. Sensitive information po, Ma'am Gina. At saka confidential po ito. Kaya kung ano ang binigay ko siya yun ng mga acknowledgement receipt, yun po, yun.
Yun na yun.
Okay.
With the indulgence of counsel, matapos kayong makatanggap ng AOM galing sa COA ICFAO na naghahanap ng resibo, hindi nyo hiningan pa rin si Colonel La Chica ng resibo? Hindi po ba yun ang nilalaman ng isa sa mga AOM na kailangan yung purchase of food and medical supplies may resibo? So ano pong ginawa nyo nun?
Nag-reply po ang office yun, Your Honor, pero hindi ko po masyado i-relate kung ano yung exact reply namin for that, Your Honor.
Nag-reply po pero bugso dahil sa kadahilanan, sa rason ng AUM, hindi po kayo nang hingi pa rin ng OR kay Colonel Lachica sa security officer. Sumagot na lang po yung opisina.
Sumagot po ang opisina, Your Honor. Tsaka, Your Honor, ang sabi po, kasi po, yung transaction na po, Your Honor, is confidential po, Your Honor.
Kaya nga sapat na sa inyo yung sagot ni Colonel Lachica nung sinabi niyang yun na yun, confidential yan, tinanggap niyo po yun.
Opo, Your Honor.
Okay, let
Attorney
me
Ligotan.
proceed. Ma'am, ano yung sinasabi ni Colonel Lachica? Yun na yun, hindi mo, you don't second guess yung ano yung binibigay na information sa'yo. Ito yung tanong now. Hindi po ba obligasyon mo as the SDO na alamin at protektahan ang bawat sentimo ng pera ng taong bayan? Manifestation, when asked that question, the witness uminom po ng tubig. Put
Para
that
may
into
pause.
record.
Your Honor, nag-verify po ako kay Security Officer Colonel Lachica, Your Honor. Yun po ang pamamaraan ko. Yun po ang way ko na para malaman ko kung yun po ang pinaggastahan ni Colonel Lachica, Your Honor. Kasi siya po ang may alam. Siya po ang nag-implement sa mga project po sa confidential operation or activities, Your Honor.
Same canned answer. Your Honor, please. Manifestation. Now, let's go to 4.15 of the Joint Circular 2015-01. Sinasabi dito, show that to the, on the screen, please. 4.15 Joint Circular. Sinasabi dito na the disbursement of confidential funds must be supported by a certification of the accountable officer. Alala niyo po ba? Di po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Of course, you will confirm na ikaw nag-certify for all the disbursements ng OVP confidential funds last quarter ng 2022 tsaka 3 quarters ng 2023, first 3 quarters. To aid you, I'm showing you a certification of the Office of the Vice President, notarized January 16, 2023, marked as Exhibit P-I-6-small letter A. Show that certification, please. The name Gina F. Acosta appears on this document as the Special Disbursing Officer, and a signature appears over this name. This is your signature, correct?
Yes, perma ko po ito, Your Honor.
Yes. Certification, this time notarized on March 30, 2023, marked as Exhibit P-I-6, small letter B. The name Gina F. Acosta appears on this document as SDO. May perma sa ibabaw ng pangalan na yan. Perma mo yan, di po ba? Jay?
Assisting counsel may approach.
Yes, so.
Same.
Is another document po, ma'am. Pangalawang certification.
Okay.
Okay, perma mo yan, di po ba?
Opo.
Now, showing you another certification, notarized this time, July 11, 2023, marked as Exhibit P-I-6C. May pangalang Gina F. Acosta. May perma sa ibabaw ng pangalang iyan. Perma mo iyan, di po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
This time, another certification dated, notarized rather, October 9, 2023. Exhibit P-I-6D. May pangalang Gina F. Acosta. May perma sa ibabaw ng pangalang iyan. Perma mo iyan, di po ba?
Perma ko po ito, Your
Now,
Honor.
of course, sa mga certifications na ito, nakasulat dyan sa letter B, the expenses were incurred in connection with the agency's intelligence. and or confidential operations and activities. Nasa letter B. Yun yung sinertify mo, di po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Sa letter F naman, nakacertify dyan that the expenditures are necessary and utilized for legal purposes. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, eto na yung tanong, ma'am. Kung nag-certify ka under oath na legal yung paggamit, yung personal mong basihan sa pag-certify na tama yung pinaggamitan ng pera ng taong bayan, yung basihan mo hindi personal sa nakita, narinig, naramdaman, kung hindi ano lang yung isinumite sa iyo ni Colonel Lachica, hindi po ba?
Opo.
Yun. But based on the certification, sinasabi mo, hindi na misappropriate yung confidential funds. Di po ba?
Kasi lahat po
Yung...
yung...
ma'am, yes or no po? Yes or no? Sinasabi niyo certification, hindi na misappropriate ng Office of the Vice President yung confidential funds.
Opo.
Okay? And since you are the SDO, alam mo lahat ng records sa mga disbursement. Di po ba?
Galing po kay Sir Lachica lahat, Your Honor.
Even as an SDO now. As an SDO, alam mo rin saan, paano, at kanino disburse ang confidential funds. Tama po ba?
Based po sa mga document na binigay sa akin ng security officer, Your Honor.
Alright. There you go again. Now, let's go to an acknowledgement receipt. PI 81382. 1P181382. Sinasabi dyan ng isang Antonio Pagong received 100,000 pesos for the payment of purchase of information. Antonio Pagong. Ito yung tanong now. Do you have personal knowledge? Sa Tagalog, nakita mo ba si Colonel Lachica na nagbigay ng 100,000 pesos in confidential funds sa isang Antonio Pagong? Yes or no? Nakita mo ba si Colonel Lachica nagbigay ng perang iyan, 100,000 pesos to Antonio Pagong? Nakita mo ba siya o hindi?
Hindi ko siya nakita, Your
Okay.
Honor, kasi wala po ako doon sa ground. Siya po ang
Good.
nag-implement, Your Honor.
Good. Let's go to P181620. Timon Andrew Pusa. Timon Andrew Pusa. Nakatanggap ng 100,000 pesos rental of transport vehicle. Same sagot ba? Hindi nyo nakita si Colonel Lachica nagbigay ng pera, hindi po 1,000, 100,000 pesos sa isang Timon Andrew Pusa. Hindi po ba?
Hindi ko po, kasi wala ako doon, Your
Wala po
Honor.
kayo doon.
Gidisburse ko lang sa kanya ang pera. Siya po ang nag-implement.
Crystal clear. Let's go to PI8-1069. PI8-1069. This time, isang Don Piang received 250,000 pesos for the payment of rental transports. Hindi nyo rin nakita si Lachica na nagbigay ng 250,000 pesos sa isang Don Piang. Kasi wala ka doon. Di po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Yes. Let's go to P182229. Kung may andilim, not to be outdone, meron din Shane Ngit-Ngit. Translation, Ngit-Ngit, Bisaya for madilim. Nakita nyo ba si Lachica na nagbigay ng 150,000 pesos sa isang Shane Ngit-Ngit o hindi mo rin nakita? Di po ba?
Hindi ko nakita, Your Honor, kasi wala po ako doon sa ground. Si Colonel La Chica po, na security officer, siya po ang nag-implement, Your Honor.
Hindi ko nakita kasi wala ako sa ground. Good. Now, last. May isang acknowledgement receipt. P18612. I should be careful. Binigay sa isang Suniso Belat. Suniso Belat. Tanong, nakita mo ba si Colonel La Chica na nagbigay ng 100,000 in confidential funds sa isang Suniso Belat?
Hindi ko po nakita, Your Honor, kasi wala po ako sa ground. Siya po ang security officer namin, Your Honor, at siya po ang nag-implement ng mga confidential operation,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Therefore, Madam, sino po, kung meron man, ang nag-verify na totoo, sakto, legal lahat ng ginawa ni Colonel La Chica?
Nag-verify po ako sa kanya, Your Honor.
Oh.
Tinanong ko po siya, Your Honor. Tapos yun ang sagot niya, Your Honor. Ma'am Gina, yung mga dokumento na binigay ko sa'yo, yan po ang mga resibo na magpapatunay, Your Honor, na nagamit po ang pera ng confidential fund. At saka, Ma'am Gina, wala po kayo. Those are sensitive matters, sensitive operation po, Ma'am Gina. Confidential po yun.
Okay, let me continue. So therefore, Madam Witness, in verifying kung tama yung sinasabi ni Colonel La Chica, sa pagbe-verify na yan, sa dinami-dami ng tao sa buong mundo, yung tinanong mo pa rin to verify is the same person, Colonel La Chica. Tama po ba? Hindi mo rin nalibog na pud ka.
Opo.
I will move on.
Taas manggod ang...
I will move on, Your Honor. Now, sinabi mo, you all rely on Colonel La Chica. Hindi mo alam kung hindi mo nakita na binigay ni Colonel La Chica yung pera sa mga recipients. Tama po ba?
Opo.
Wala ring official receipts. Hindi po ba?
Opo.
So aside sa sinasabi ni Colonel La Chica sa iyo, hindi mo mapapatunayan. Ma'am, careful ha. I'm being careful with this question because this is really important. Aside po sa sinasabi ni Colonel La Chica sa iyo, hindi mo ngayon malalaman kung totoo ba na binigay ni Colonel La Chica yung pera, for example, kay Suniso Belat. Hindi po ba?
Ask and answer, Your Honor.
Your Honor, these are really important questions.
Witness will answer.
Na-interrupt ako.
Yes po, ma'am?
Ulitin, na-interrupt po ako, Your Honor. Sorry.
I will. Sinabi mo, hindi mo nakita si Colonel La Chica na nagbigay ng pera sa mga recipients. Okay? Sinabi mo rin na yung pagbe-verify mo is through Colonel La Chica himself. Ito yung tanong now. Aside sa sinabi ni Colonel La Chica sa iyo, hindi mo mabe-verify, hindi mo malalaman kung totoo bang binigay ni Colonel La Chica yung pera sa sinasabi niyang recipients. Di po ba?
Nag-verify po ako kay Colonel La Chica, Your
Yun.
Honor. Nag-rely po ako sa kanya, Your Honor. Kasi siya po ang nag-implement ng mga confidential activities, Your Honor.
Manifestation, another canned answer to a separate question. I will move on, Your Honor.
Motion
Therefore,
to strike, Your Honor, impertinent.
that's a manifestation that's allowed, Your Honor.
Impertinent, Your Honor.
Let it stay in the record, counsel.
okay, Now, so Madam, hindi mo rin malalaman na binigay pala ni Colonel La Chica yung confidential funds sa mga kaibigan at kaalyado ng Vice President. Di po ba? Hindi mo rin malalaman yan. Di po ba? Yes or no? Nag-rely ka lang kay Colonel Lachica.
Nag-rely po ako kay Colonel Lachica at saka sa mga dokumento po, Your Honor, na binigay niya sa akin.
Nagaling mo. Okay, next question. Hindi mo rin malalaman, ma'am, na in fact, binigay ni Colonel Lachica yung 500 million pesos sa Vice President herself. Hindi mo rin malalaman yan.
Misleading, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
No basis, counsel.
Okay.
No basis, counsel. Kindly reform.
Okay. Hindi mo rin malalaman, ma'am, na yung 125 million pesos na gamit, not in 11 days, but in just 24 hours. Hindi mo rin malalaman yan.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'll allow you to proceed with on a short leash on this line of questioning.
That's the last point, Your Honor, for this.
Ma'am Gina, simple po yung tanong. Dahil inasahan nyo lang po yung binigay sa inyong dokumento at sinabi ni Colonel Lachica, kung totoo man o hindi, yung sinabi niya sa inyo at dokumento niya binigay, wala po kayong personal na kaalaman dahil hindi niyo po nakitang ginawa niya talaga yon. Tama po?
Tama po, kasi siya po ang nag-implement. Siya po ang nasa ground. Siya po ang nag-implement ng mga activities regarding confidential, Your Honor.
So,
At
lahat-
siya po ang itinalaga. Meron po siyang order, Your Honor, as security officer, Your Honor. Siya po ang may access, Your Honor, when it comes to security, Your Honor. Siya ang nai-training. Siya ang expert, Your Honor. Ako, nag-disburse lang ako sa iya, Your Honor.
So, kung totoo man nga po o hindi, kung tama man o mali, inasahan nyo lamang yung mga binigay sa inyong dokumento ni Colonel Lachica dahil siya yung authorized, siya yung sinabihan na gawin yan, at siya yung may training.
Opo, Your Honor.
Wala kang personal knowledge na binigay nga dun sa mga taong yun yung pera o ginastos talaga para sa supplies. Wala po. Hindi po kayong gumawa nun.
Wala, Your Honor, ka wala ko dito.
Okay.
Last stretch of my questions, Madam Witness. Last stretch. 6.2.3.1 of the joint circular. Repeat, 6.2.3.1. Sinasabi ng joint circular na ikaw ay required to submit a liquidation report. Tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
In fact, nag-submit ka ng liquidation report dated January 10, 2023. Okay? For the Office of the Vice President sa paggamit ng confidential funds. Hindi po ba?
Opo, Your Honor. Excuse
And-
me, Your Honor. Pwede
yes,
mga
yes,
yung
ma'am.
kopya.
Yes, ma'am. We will do that.
Salamat po. Sir, excuse me, sir. Same ba ito dito? Hindi, same. Okay po, Your Honor.
Now, so sinicertify mo na lahat ng mga data nasa reports are correct, di po ba?
Sinicertify ko po kung ano ang nakalagay dito sa liquidation report na ito.
Now, opo ma'am, I'm showing you now liquidation reports for the first, second, third quarters ng 2022. May same certification, di po ba? Sa naging liquidation report nyo sa 2022, ano yung mga nakasaad dyan, di po ba? Same ano yung sinecertify nyo sa liquidation report, di po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
In fact, yung pangalang Sara Duterte as Vice President, makikita natin sa liquidation reports for the fourth quarter of 2022, diretso na, first, second, third quarter ng 2023. Tsaka may pirma sa pangalang Sara Duterte sa mga dokumentong iyan. Yung mga pirmang ito, mga pirma ng ating Vice President, hindi po ba?
Pirma po niya ito, Your Honor.
So sinasabi nyo na yung Vice President din nag-certify sa lahat ng liquidation reports pinakita sa iyo, in total, 500 million pesos, 500 million pesos. Sinasabi din ng Vice President na tama yung pinagamitan ng confidential funds, hindi po ba?
Ang sinertify po niya dito, Your Honor, is purpose of cash advance duly accomplished.
Yes. Now, I will repeat this question. So kung nakapag-certify kayo na duly accomplish yung purposes ng cash advance. Yung certification, base lang yan sa ano yung sinabi ni Colonel La Chica sa inyo, hindi po ba?
Base po ito sa mga documents po na binigay sa akin ni Security Officer Colonel La Chica, Your Honor.
Okay, so now, hindi mo sinasabi, yun yung sinabi ni Colonel La Chica. But this time, sinasabi mo, this time around, base naman sa mga dokumentong binigay sa iyo ni Colonel La Chica, hindi po ba?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
I'll allow the witness to answer. I'm sorry, counsel.
Hindi po ba? Hindi po ba?
Ano po yun?
Okay,
Sorry
ito na lang,
po, ha?
ito na lang.
Sorry.
Nakapag-certify ka, this time defense, I'm asking about the liquidation report Nakapag-certify ka sa liquidation report na tama yung pinagamitan, kahit hindi mo nakita personal paano ginamit ni Colonel La Chica yung pera, hindi po ba?
Misleading, Your Honor. The liquidation report contains a different statement, Your Honor. It's box A, certified correctness of the above data, Your Honor. So the factual premise of the question is incorrect, Your Honor.
That's a liquidation report, Your Honor.
Let me counsel. Let me counsel. Ma'am Gina, nung sinabi niyo pong certified correct yung nakapaloob sa liquidation report, ang pinagbasehan niyo pa rin ay yung impormasyong binigay sa inyo ni Colonel La Chica at hindi po personal niyong kaalaman na doon nga nagastos yung pera.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Ha?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, ang gisertify ko dito sa liquidation report, Your Honor, is the correctness of the above data, Your Honor. Ito lang pong period covered na tama, Your Honor. Ito pong particulars na tama, Your Honor. Entity, Your Honor, tama po, Your Honor. Ang amount, tama po, Your Honor. Kani po ang ako ang bot ipasabot nga gisertify na ko ang above data kana po nga data, Your Honor.
At nakalagay po nga sa datang yan kung paano ginastos yung confidential fund. Liquidation report nga po eh. Di po ba?
Above data po kasi, Your Honor.
Kaya nga po, nakalagay po sa above data. Can you can you scroll up please?
Scroll up, please. The old documents.
Can you zoom in on the
Zoom in, please.
particulars? Yan po, yung liquidation nga po, sinertify nyo na yung liquidation ay tama.
Opo, Your Honor.
At ang basehan ng liquidation, yung mga dokumentong binigay ng security officer na si Colonel La Chica.
Opo, Your Honor.
Hindi po yung personal ninyong kaalaman na dun nga nagastos yun, kundi base sa kanyang binigay sa inyong impormasyon at mga dokumento.
Opo, Your Honor, kasi wala po ako doon. Siya po ang nag-implement, Your Honor. Nag-disperse lang po ako ng pera sa kanya, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let me
Counsel,
continue,
you might
Your
think
Honor.
of other questions already because I think the witness said that about 20 times already.
Yes,
She
sir.
was not there.
We'll go to, this time, Your Honor, hindi na liquidation report. Last points. Accomplishment report naman. Or, let's not belabor the point, ma'am. I'll go directly to the point. Accomplishment report for 2022, 3 quarters. Sinasabi nyo na tama yung pinagamitan ng pera ng taong bayan, 500 million pesos, kalahating bilyon, pera ng taong bayan. Sinertify nyo na tama yung pinagamitan kahit wala kayong personal na alam kung totoo bang tama yung pinagamitan ni Colonel La Chica. Kasi nga, nag-rely lang kayo sa sinabi ni Colonel La Chica sa inyo, hindi po ba?
Nag-rely
Misleading,
po
Your Honor. The witness testified that she relied on the statements and the documents, not merely the.
That is my question, Your Honor. If she relied on
That was the question, Counsel. If she relied on the documents given and statements made by Colonel La Chica, which you said several times, na confidential yon, di ba? You may repeat it again, Ma'am Gina. Your answer.
Nag-rely po ako, nakagawa po ako ng utilization report based po sa pagpangutana, pag-verify ko kay Security Officer La Chica na kana Ma'am Gina, sensitive information na o confidential information o mga dokumento nga gihatag nga gikan kay Security Officer Colonel La Chica nga ni sa ako
Ma'am, curious lang ako. May sinabi po ba siyang confidential to, yan lang ang pwedeng bigay ko sa'yo, wala na akong pwedeng bigay sa'yo yung iba? May ganun po ba?
Ang sinabi po niya, Your Honor, those transaction po or those operation po are sensitive and confidential in nature, Your Honor.
Kaya wala na po siyang bibigay na iba pang dokumento maliban dyan.
Oy, yung mga dokumento na binigay niya sa akin, Your Honor,
Yun lang yun, hanggang dun lang.
hanggang doon lang po, Your Honor.
Okay.
Five questions. Hindi ba't
You promised before lunch, Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. 5 questions. Hindi po ba, Madam Witness, pinalabas nyo na kayo mismo ang naghanda ng physical and financial plans para sa confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President for 2022 tsaka 2023. Gayon ang totoo. Si Colonel La Chica lamang pala ang nagsabi kung anong dapat isulat sa mga planong iyan sa plan.
Sorry, Your Honor. I confused with your question, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I will not repeat the question. I'll move on to the next.
I think that's already on the record, Counsel.
Yes.
Ma'am Gina, sinagot niyo na po dati yan.
Opo.
Na yung physical and financial plan na hinanda niyo, kumuha kayo ng input kay Colonel La Chica. Hindi po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Hindi po ba't sa mga liquidation report, accomplishment report, pinapalabas nyo na tama yung pinagamitan ng confidential funds, pero yung totoo, wala kayong personal na kaalaman kung sino ang mga tunay na tumigap ng pera, hindi po ba?
Misleading, Your Honor.
I think the
I
record
think
is so obvious.
he's just about to be done, Counsel. Let's let him summarize his
Yeah.
points.
Hindi po ba? Hindi po ba, Madam Witness? Wala kayong personal na alam na tama yung pinagamitan ni Colonel La Chica despite the report, certification, kasi nga sabi niyo, nag-rely lang kayo kay Colonel La Chica and this time you added sa mga dokumento, hindi po ba?
As
Yes
an
or no?
answer, Your Honor.
I think as an answer. Last 2 questions, Your Honor.
Again, for emphasis, I think the witness will confirm that. Tama po, Ma'am Gina?
Nag-rely po ako sa sinabi ni Colonel La Chica at sa mga document na binigay niya sa akin, Your Honor, after po na-implement po niya sa ground ang mga confidential activities po, Your Honor.
At wala po kayo sa ground.
Yes po, wala po ako doon, Your Honor.
Hindi po ba dahil sa mga pinaggagawa niyo sa Office of the Vice President, nawalan ng paraan ang taong bayan na pagtugmain. I repeat, hindi ba't dahil sa pinaggagawa niyo nawalan ng paraan ang taong bayan nagpagtugmain? On one hand, ang paper trail,
I cannot
or not
understand.
yet, ma'am, or makadokumento, at the same, on the other hand, ang totoong money trail. Wala na pong paraan ng taong bayan na pagtugmain yung paper trail tsaka money trail. Hindi po ba? Yes or no?
Argumentative and
If,
speculative, Your Honor.
If you know, Ma'am Gina, kung alam niyo po, sabihin niyo po, alam niyo. Kung hindi niyo alam, sabihin niyo rin pong hindi niyo alam.
I will repeat the question if you may, Your Honor.
I think she understood the question, but
mas-
difficult to answer on her part, Counsel, but I don't want to put words in the mouth of
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
witness.
Malalim po ang Tagalog ni Attorney Lagutan po.
Ma'am, it's ligutan. Okay now.
Ay, sorry po. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay po.
I'm sorry po.
It's okay, ma'am.
Sorry
Okay.
po. Sorry po.
It's okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I will repeat the question. Kasi nga, sinasabi nyo, wala namang kayong kinalaman sa paano ginamit ni Colonel La Chica yung pera, pero sinecertify nyo na tama yung pinagamitan ng pera. So di po ba, yung taong bayan nawalan ng pamamaraan na pagtugmain, i-match yung mga dokumento, paper trail tawag natin dyan on one hand, tsaka yung actual na paggamit ng pera or money trail. Napakaklaro na po. Nawalan po ang taong bayan ng pamamaraan at pagtugmain yung dalawang bagay na yan. Yes or no?
Speculative, Your
Wala
Honor.
po.
Oh, it's not.
Wala nawalan ang, ano yun?
Hindi nawalan.
Hindi nawalan, Your Honor.
Okay.
Kasi pwede po nila tanungin ang aming security officer na siya po ang nagpapatupad ng mga...
Okay now, last question.
Darating po tayo doon, ma'am. I assure you. I hope we will arrive to that point.
Ma'am,
Po.
hindi ba ito isang scam o tahasang panlililag sa
Argumentative,
pera ng
Your Honor.
taumbayan?
Argumentative. Your
Counsel, it's not only argumentative, but kindly use appropriate language as well inside this court.
Your Honor, may we move to strike that last question, Your Honor, for being impertinent, Your Honor.
It's very much pertinent.
I tend to agree with counsel for the respondent. The word scam is stricken from the record. It did not come from the witness's mouth. Kindly reform a bit, counsel. I think I know where you're getting at too. And you've
That
said
would
it
be all
anyway.
for the prosecution for this witness, Your Honor. Okay.
Do you want to start with your cross, counsel, or do you want to start your cross after lunch?
Can we do it after lunch, Your Honor?
Yes, we certainly can, but we shall 45 minutes. 12:40. We shall, since it's only 11:45, we shall break for lunch and shall resume at 12:30. I hope 45 minutes would be enough with the senator judges. Ma'am Gina, lunch break po muna tayo. Makakababa
Opo,
po kayo
sir.
sa witness stand. Huwag po kayong kakain dyan, ha? Kumain po kayo sa lamesa. ng
Salamat po,
komportable.
sir. Salamat po, Your Honor.
Thank you. We are on recess and we shall resume at 12:30 in the afternoon.